Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. Thank you for joining Sacred Para on this awesome and amazing day. I hope that you guys are having a good start to the weekend. I know some people include Friday as their weekend, and there's those of us who see Saturday as the beginning of the weekend. Either way, I hope that this is an awesome day for you. I'm coming at you a little bit early because today I have an international conversation, yes, with Barbs for Us. She is in Germany. So, guys, I get very, very excited about any of the interviews, conversations, chats, and discussions that I have with people here in the States. And I get just like a little bit of an extra person where we can cross culturally and be able to learn from each other and be able to unite on this wonderful topic of storyline, content creation, and character development, right? Because it just really does, I don't know, it just makes us connect on this deeper level. So I'm really excited about talking to her today. I've been admiring her page for some time. Hi, Fairy the Wind 2001. So glad that you're joining today. So yeah, I've been admiring her page for quite some time. Really, really excited for what she's going to be discussing. I'm going to bring her in. We're a little bit early, but we're right at 1 o'clock right now. So I'm going to see if she's actually online. And let's go ahead and make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Isn't that what they say? All right. I'm hoping you guys are having a good situation with this weather as well, because I've seen some snow on some of you guys' pictures. I'm like, what? Snow? And they, it's a crazy world we live in, right? So, some people are having summer right now. Some people are having winter. And some of us are in this wonderful autumn season. So we're just going to see what all, is brought to us this week. Hi, my little Kirby world. Love the Barbies. Oh, thank you so much. It's very cold, but no snow is Fairy of the Wind. Yeah. I actually saw some people, like I said, they have snow. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy. For me, it is, because we're in the month of November. I almost said October, but November. And it's like, wow, we don't have snow yet. I think like here where I'm located, we usually get snow maybe like January-ish. Yes, January-ish is a word. Okay. I like to put that ish on it. All right, I put that ish on everything. There you go. So yeah, January-ish is when we start seeing some snow. Last year, it was so very like minimal. It was just like a light dust of snow. I was like, oh my God, this stinks. This stinks. I want to be able to make snowballs and stuff. But yeah, it did. It sucked. Let me see. I see her on here. We're going to try it again. I just got a message. I think it said that she was unable to connect. So let's try it again. You are a wordsmith like me, sis. Yes. There's nothing wrong with creating our own words, our own terminology, our own hashtags. Okay. So yeah, January-ish was a new word. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I hope that you guys are able to, keep yourself warm. If you're cold, if the outside is cold, hope that everything's going good for you as far as like keeping yourself warm. And if it's, hot outside, keep yourself cool, right? So Barbs for Us has just joined. Hello. I sent you out a request. So I'm hoping that it will open up for us to be able to dialogue and chat face to face on here, right? Hello, Mother. How are you? So as you see, my girls, they're all ready. They're like prepped up for high. And shout out to my daughters because they helped to get them dressed. They dressed them on Tuesday, and, real life kind of kicked in. Didn't really get a chance to dress my co-host. But, yeah, so they've been dressed and posed by my daughters. Very, very thankful. And as always, I tell you guys that the lighting and all of this great stuff is done by my husband and my two oldest sons. So I'm very thankful for the work that they put in. So if you're liking the lighting, you're liking the setup, it's because of them. So I thank them. Yeah, they did a great job, didn't they? Just overall, I'm always amazed by the gifts and talents that they have, and just thankful that we're able to, work together to make it happen. So I did send out another request. Yes, beautiful queens. Yes, they are. They truly, truly are. They're little queens. They're little queens in training. Hello. How are you? Yes. like we're joined together, but I don't see your.
Oh no, you don't see my picture?
How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Actually, there's no picture right
Oh, it's
now.
weird. Wait just a second. Maybe I'll log off and come back again. Just a second.
Okay, so you're log off, and then I'll let me call you back in.
I'll just like out of the chat maybe,
Okay.
and then I'll come back in. Just a second. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Ah, it happens. As we know, technology is so awesome, but at the same time, we're still dealing with so many kinks, right? So yeah, that is totally not her fault. I thank you guys because like the last 2-3 lives that I've had, I've been having some technical difficulties, and of course, you know, Instagram has been doing their own reinvention of the algorithms and so forth. So things happen. Things happen. But I'm so excited about today being able to talk to Barbs for us. I'm sure you guys are going to be able to glean and just pull from some of the things that she's going to speak about. Like I said, I've been following her page for quite some time. She has awesome, amazing photos, especially of vintage Barbies. Just like dolls that you know, we're talking like Silkstone dolls. We're talking about dolls from the 80s. Like, I look at some of the dolls that she takes pictures of, and I'm like, oh my God, I have that doll. I remember. Like, she makes me want to go on eBay and, like, refine that doll. Like, very, very awesome stuff. So, let me see if that, in fact, went through. Insta is so weird lately. Exactly. Very, very weird here lately. I'm not going to knock it, though, you know. I'm not going to knock it. I don't want to be that person that's down talking Instagram. We thank you, Instagram. Hey, I would not have this platform right here, right? So let me not talk bad against Instagram. It's just that, you know, we're going through a situation. Hey, how are you?
I made it.
How are you?
We're okay. Actually, my daughters and I, we both have like the bug. We have the flu. So we're kind of surviving over here, but we're okay. Hi, everybody.
Oh my goodness! Had you told me we could have rescheduled this?
Well, it was like totally last minute, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna let them watch TV, and I'm just gonna sit here, and it's gonna be okay, you know. So no,
okay. Well, I'm gonna filter through my you know, questions and conversations, because the key thing is you getting some rest. So yeah, I don't want to like hold you too long. All right.
Yeah, it's just.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you so much. I thank you because you're not feeling well and you're on here.
Well, you know,
thank you.
I felt like, okay, I could sit and talk, you know, it's not like I have to like drive somewhere or anything like that. So, but yeah, I'm sorry if I'm feeling a little bit low energy or anything like that. But yeah.
I appreciate it. You don't understand. I really do. I appreciate it. So I appreciate it.
No, I wanted to be here for sure. And I got my Barbies here.
Raven!
Yeah, so these are my.
Hey! Yes! Oh my God, look at that outfit.
This is from M Creations, like the designer.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to M Creations. I am in the line to get one, but I love the fashion.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is. So yeah, that's where that dress comes from. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So my daughter just came in. She's like, I don't want to watch TV.
Yeah, of course not. This is like live TV. Exactly. It's like, I want to see mommy. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to get right into the questions. Like I said, I don't want to hold you because rest is key when you're feeling under the weather. What is your background as a writer?
As a writer, well, I was always interested in writing short stories. Like even in high school, I was in AP classes. And I was always fascinated with like the short stories. Like, I don't know if you ever took any short story classes or anything like that. And so I just remembered being so fascinated by them just because you didn't need to write a novel, because I was never the type to like was into writing books, but I wanted to write something, you know? So thank you.
I do enjoy that. She's cute. I love it.
Yeah, I don't normally show my
you know, hubby, now we've got 10 of them, so you know, like.
Yeah, she's not doing well either. So, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's how I started my love for writing, and then yeah, just like story playing, and I also for my girls when they go to bed, you know, we have books and stuff like that, but I like telling short stories to them, just like out loud, just like random, sort of on the spot, and they love them. Sometimes I wish I could write them down because they're pretty good, you know. When I say like like I was the best or anything like that, but I'm like, whoa, that was a really good story that I just made up out of thin air. So, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I've done that as well. And you do, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with a pat on the back, okay? There's nothing wrong with it at all. I would say if you have, I don't have it on my phone, but I know my husband, he has like the app where you can record yourself. I've got so much on my phone already where I haven't put it on there. But there was a time where I was doing just like stories out loud. And you come out with some masterpieces and you're just like, wow, like, why couldn't I write that? I would just say record it. You record it, and then like later on you can type it up and boom, you got it, right?
That's also with when I was younger too. I used to write a lot of lyrics because I play the guitar, so I used to write like lyrics and stuff like that. So I would also record myself because sometimes you just be in the moment and you just like it just takes, you know, and that's when you write the best stuff. So yeah, because when you're like sitting down with a pen and paper and you're like, okay, I have to come up with something. What should I come up with? It's kind of like difficult and puts a lot of pressure on you. But
it does. It really, really does.
So
it truly, truly does.
But anyway, so that like.
Now we follow through. I know all about it. Like I said, my kids right now are downstairs with Daddy, and so I understand.
Yeah, my dad had to go and grab some like clothes from his like old like friend because his old friend and him share. They're the same body type, and his friend is like really likes to go out and buy like really nice clothes, and then he just gives them away when he's done with them, like almost brand new. So my husband always gets his second-hand clothes, so he's running out there and getting the clothes now. So.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I understand about like kids being unpredictable and stuff and doing their own thing. So we're just gonna flow with her. That's what I say. That's what just flow. That's what this is all about. Just being able to flow. I'm surprised, honestly, that minds don't bust in while I'm talking because if they could, they would. They are, but they're the best. You know, I feel. Even when we talk about storylines, I feel that even me being able to write has so much to do with them being in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that children help us to grow and develop.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, that. Sure. Yeah. They test us and they actually do. Hello! I tell you, she's a cutie. Oh, yeah. So like I said, honey, we're going, just for you, we're going to be wrapping it up. We're not going to talk too long. What is your interest in storyline content? Because you could do any other kind of photos, which we've seen, because you have very phenomenal photos between your nature ones, your fashion ones, your vintage ones when you're just showcasing a vintage doll. What made you decide to also, you know, interweave or intertwine your storyline?
Well, I wanted to have something kind of permanent other than just showcasing my dolls, you know. And so I sort of wanted to create this character, and I knew a lot of people were doing this mini me sort of character, and with that you could also produce content, because I mean I only have so many dolls that I get that I can't always post them every day or every other day, because then I run out of dolls, you know. So then I was thinking, okay, what can I do for content, you know, because I want to be active and I want to be, you know, just on Instagram. And so I thought, oh, I can get a mini me and start like sort of, you know, creating this character little by little. Actually, I wish I had more time to like do more storylines with her, but yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, but the things I do write, it does come from a place like of, you know, she's sort of like the better version of me, sort of like, you know, so yeah, that's sort of how it started. And yeah, and I just like having her, and I feel it's really fun because people then start connecting to Raven, you know. People are like, oh, there's Raven, or oh, Raven, you know. And it's really cool because then like she's sort of like your mascot for your page, you know. But yeah, but
I love Raven. I actually, what you did with her for Halloween, I shared those stories with my husband. I was like, hey, look at this. it was so hilarious to
Yeah.
me. Like the one that you had with the wedding
Yeah.
one, and she has this knife behind her, and he's asking about his mother. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. It was really funny because everyone was like, "Oh, what a romantic photo," and I'm like, "No, did you swipe left?" Because it's not that romantic. But yeah,
But it was so good. And then like you had like the one for wedding transport, and she was on his
oh
back.
yeah,
Just so very, just creative, very
thank
creative. So
you.
where do you get these storylines from
Yeah,
with
well,
her?
thank you. Well, I don't have much items or props, you know. So, I know I'm just, I just started this whole like doing this challenge, like doing people's challenge and stuff. Because before I just had like a lot of dolls, some in boxes, some out of box, you know. So these challenges really challenge me creatively to come up with stuff. Like I didn't have a Corvette, a Barbie Corvette or car or anything like that. We have Matchbox cars, but of course the scale from Barbie and Match, you know. So I was like, okay, I need to think of something quick. What do I do? You know? So I'm like, oh, piggyback ride. That would be cute, you know? So that's kind of how it all, how that happened.
So you're really working with what you
Yeah,
have.
for sure. For
I
sure.
like that. I like that. And that's just like a tip out there. Like we always say, got these tips and these nuggets and lessons and so forth. So there's some of us who don't have all of that. Like I don't really have like a set diorama area for my dolls just yet.
Yeah.
And that's just really because of space and all this other stuff. But nonetheless, it's like you work with what you have. And by you doing that, you created something that was so inventive and creative and just really a twist to what wedding transport was.
Exactly. I could have had a fancy horse and carriage, and like I'm not saying like it's bad or anything, but but it was like, oh, a piggyback ride, and I think I was like the only one with the piggyback ride, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's refreshing, and so I was like, oh, cool.
It was.
But it's fun, and yeah, so those challenges really challenge me. So I guess that's why they call challenges, because they challenge me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Now, I do have a question, but because we are on the subject of challenges, I kind of want to stick on that. You have your own challenges that you do, like the Black and White Doll
Black
Friday,
and white with the
and then you also have the Frame the Dolls challenge. Yeah. How did you come, like what's the backstory behind that as far as you coming about with these two challenges?
Well, the Black and with the N, because a lot of people put and then I don't see it and I feel sorry for them, but it's Black and like the letter N, then white. That was actually my good friend Duru's idea. So I don't know if you know Dolly Guy 86. He and I he's like one of the first, my oldest doll friends I have on Instagram. And we've become really close, and he's kind of like my sidekick or my partner in crime in this whole doll Instagram thing, and he's very knowledgeable about dolls as well. And he was the one that came up with the idea, because I was thinking I wanted to do something a little bit regularly, like every week, but I couldn't think of any idea. And I think I mentioned that to him, like I'm trying to figure out like what I can do. Obviously I don't have a lot of props, so I don't want other people to go out and buy props, I want them to, and then a couple of days later, he's like, you want to join me in this Black and White Friday thing? Like it's, he told me about the challenge. You take a photo and you can put it in black and white, and you can interpret it however you want to. And we can do it every Friday. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm like, you want me to help you join, like help you host it? And he's like, yeah, I would love it that you would help me. And I'm like, that was amazing. Thank you so much. So that's sort of how it started. So it was all his idea, like, because it's so simple, because you can like pair it with different challenges, like the first challenge, or you can have the colored picture first, and then you can have the black and white, so you can always, it's simple and easy, and everyone has the black and white filter on it. So
it's true. Yeah. And like I've gotten a chance to get in. I think I just recently really did it, so I think I have like 3, maybe 4 photos. And I've always wanted to do it, but then like, life would happen. I homeschool. I got 10, and just things. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I didn't get a chance to post. It's gonna be like on a Friday. And so what I've learned though, whenever I do get a chance to do it, it adds such intensity to my story, because I do like a straight up storyline. And so like the ones I have done, I've noticed like it just adds like that extra impact to what I'm like putting out there with that particular character story. So for me, coming from a storyline perspective, it's like it works. So even if you're doing storyline, Yeah, don't feel like, oh, I can't do it, because it
Right.
works, and it just adds like an extra punch that you need, and you get a chance to participate in
Yeah,
the
it brings
challenge.
out that moodiness, you know, the whole, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Drew and I are kind of like
Yes, I'm
moody
really
people.
thankful that you guys did that.
Want water?
Hey, like I said, I'm glad that you guys did that. It works
Yeah.
marvelously with the storyline, and just, and like you said, being able to stretch
Yeah.
yourself, because it is
And
a
I
challenge. So,
realized, actually, now that you mentioned it, a lot of the people that do participate do have a more, you know, artistic side to them. They kind of do like the lighting a little bit different and kind of make this whole vibe thing. So I guess, yeah, I think it definitely is more appealing for people who like the more of a artistic moodiness vibe to it. So that's, yeah. So I like seeing their pictures. Some do really
yeah,
dark pictures, and some like, you know, just sadness or, you know, different emotions, and it's really cool that you can bring that
yeah,
out, you know.
yeah.
So
I like it. I like it a whole lot. Now with the frame the dolls, if they, how do people do the frame the dolls? Do they get like a picture frame and put the doll into the picture frame? What's the concept with
so
that
you can
one?
bring the doll however you want. You can do a picture frame, or you can just use items like flowers and just kind of put flowers around the dolls or whatever, you know. And that's pretty much it. You could even use maybe digital if people like more of a digital look. I know there's like different apps on the internet that you can do different frames. So it's sort of like borders, but I kind of want it to be a little bit more like framed looking, you know. But so yeah, and I thought that was a really cute idea, and I just kind of did it because one of the challenges that I did for Vintage Claire, I had this frame, and I was like, oh, this sort of looks, you know, this is like teal, matches with the dresses. Let me do it, and so sort of how I came about. And of course, it's ongoing, so it's not like every week. It's just like whenever you have the time, because, you know, I don't want people to be like,
There
oh
you
no, I
go.
have to do it, you know, Tuesday or something. But so it's just ongoing. You can do it whenever you want, anytime you want. There's no deadline or anything like that. So
Okay, and that is, I put it in the, when I wrote about us talking, I put like hashtag frame the dolls, but I wanted to make sure, is that
yeah,
right with that
yeah, hashtag
hashtag?
frame the dolls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Okay. Okay. I was like, when we talk, I was like, I'll make sure that that's right, and I can go back and edit it. Is she
Huh?
okay? Is she okay?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
I hope she doesn't throw up. She did throw up this morning, so.
If you need to get off, we can redo this
Okay.
anytime, okay?
We can keep on going, I think.
Health is always
Yeah.
first. If she's not feeling good, let me know,
Okay.
okay?
I don't know if she's feeling like, I don't know.
Is she
Yeah,
okay?
I think she's just, I don't know. Are you feeling well? She won't respond. She's only 2. Yeah. But maybe we could wrap it up just, you know, so.
Let's wrap
Yeah.
it up. Let's wrap it up. I went.
She's like, shut up. Yeah.
Yeah, we want baby feeling better. So listen, we're going to talk a little later on. We're going to cut this one short. I appreciate you for getting on here with me.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to be here for
hey,
you.
life happens. Life happens. Like I said, I appreciate you. Participate in the challenges. There's the Black in White Doll Friday every Friday, and then there's also, of course, the ongoing challenge of the Frame the Dolls.
Exactly.
And we'll do this again. We'll communicate maybe December or January.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, and I appreciate you like asking me, and because it's always nice to chat with people from the community. So yeah, that.
Oh my goodness. I thank you. So yeah, definitely orange juice, crackers, soup,
Yeah.
ginger ale soup. Yeah. Put that cumin in there, that turmeric.
Okay.
If you guys have, yeah, cumin, turmeric. What else do we do? Like cilantro, all that good stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Get some fresh cilantro, throw it in there. And yeah, hopefully I want baby and you to feel better like real soon. So yeah, because it stinks.
Yeah, it just came up, kind of creeped up on us this weekend. It's kind of like, oh, great. And then I was feeling fine.
That's
until,
exactly
like,
what
I took a nap, and then I woke up, and I'm like, oh, I feel like crap.
crap.
Like, this is bad. But you know, I do. It was like 2 hours before we had it live, and I was like, yeah, I can just sit down. It won't be too bad. But I appreciate everyone who came out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that if I
Oh my gosh, no. And then I see my mother said Jello, and Jello does work as well. And I don't know about now. Of course, little baby can't take it, but I would say maybe possibly for you, depending on how you feel, you may be able to do a hot toddy. I don't know if you drink bourbon or anything of that nature, but if you do, I know for me, hot toddies usually kind of like over like a period of like 2-3 days. It's not like an instant thing, but like 3 days or so later with that lemon and honey, and of course the bourbon, it just like kind of makes things feel a little bit better too. Get all the mucus and stuff together.
all this fun stuff
So
that happens during the cold
season. I know, right? I know. So I'll be checking in on you, making sure you feel better. I'll check on you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And everyone who came on here, I really appreciate you guys. So yeah, I'll see you, I guess, later on the gram. And yeah, we can talk more because I have so much more to talk about Raven and Gia. So.
Yes, and we're here for it. And of course, all your other beautiful photos. So I'm gonna keep these questions for later. Like I said, I'm gonna check on you tomorrow because I would love for you guys to get some rest. So you can go ahead and I'll just close out with everybody. Great. You can go ahead and end it.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, baby. I hope you feel better.
Bye. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Okay. See ya.
Okay, so guys, I thank you so much for being with us today. I'm going to go ahead and close on out. You go ahead and close on out. I want you guys to get some rest. All right, so thank you guys for being with us today. My girls can actually put their hands down. They're already saying hi. Yes, there we go. All right. So I thank you guys for being with us. Barbs for us, amazing, talented, gorgeous, phenomenal. I'm so glad that she got on here even in the midst of her not feeling good. I appreciate it so much. And for a little baby too. She was so cute. She was so adorable. But I do hope that they feel better. I'm going to, of course, save this particular, thank you, Barbs, for us. I'm going to save this this live today. We're going to get back together. Like I said, either December or January, depending on what our schedules coordinate like. But we're going to do this again. Because I really do. I love her spirit. I love her page. And she, of course, said that she had so much more in her to tell you guys about Raven. So this is just one of those, I guess, like an entree, if you will, or appetizer. There you go. It's an appetizer to the entree, right? Dang, I missed it. It's okay. B. Dolly said I missed it. It's okay. I'm going to save it. And then you'll be able to see it. But like I said, this was the appetizer. The appetizer. Yes, we will. But always, 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 I'm really, really major on health and making sure that everyone feels good. Everyone in the household, just like I had to cancel the one live like a couple of months ago because my little baby wasn't feeling well. And you just don't want to chance it. You know what I mean? You want to go ahead, get the rest that you need, everything else. So like I said, I am really, really honored that she still got on here. Is there anything else that I could talk to you guys about? I know that I do want to do a giveaway really, really soon. What? Got away? Yes. Do a giveaway very, very soon. So that is something to be looking forward to. And do I have any other updates? I can't really think of any other than just staying tuned, allowing you guys to get your rest in because Thanksgiving's coming up. And I know a lot of you guys have some awesome crafts on the way, so I'm looking forward to seeing what crafts that you guys are going to be having. Yes. And Barbie paints. Hey, I had a little hiccup, but I will be sending you those books. Yes, next week. Forgive me. I will be sending that to you next week. We had like a really busy week and things were just kind of out of whack. But next week, I will be sending you those books. And the books I'm talking about are books that I have authored. And if you ever want to find any of those books, they're on Amazon. It's under R.K. Lemons Weber. That's my pseudonym. R.K. Lemons with a double M, Weber, Weber. And you can find any of those books. Of course, if you want any of the At Sacred Para books, those are also on there. No rush, Hermana. Hey, thank you. I want to get it to you still, though. That's my sis. That is my sis, Barbie Paint. So if you have not been on her page, definitely check it out. We did a conversation. I want to say like back in March or April, we had a conversation together. You can always check that out as well. That's on the timeline. Lots of good stuff. That's truly Unitas Hermana right there. So I'm very, very thankful for her being in my life. I'm thankful for you guys being in my life and for you guys supporting this IG live show. And I'm just looking forward to the conversations that we are to have. Next week, I will be on here at the regularly scheduled time of 3 o'clock on a Saturday. So you guys will be able to check that out. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're located somewhere else, that's going to be, of course, a different time. It was fantastic. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Like I said, I'm really, really thankful that she was able to get on here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, because when you're under the weather, that's like one of the last things that you want to do is talk to a stranger, right? But she still did that, and so I appreciate Barbs for us so much, and I'm looking forward to being able to have a conversation even further. My apologies. That was my timer letting me know, hey, it's almost 3 o'clock, because my phone doesn't know that I'm on here early. I'm on here early today. If you have any questions or comments, now would be the time to post it. If you have a question even in the future for Barbs for Us, you can go ahead and post that right now, and I can write that down. And then when we actually conversate, we'll be able to have that. So if you have any questions or comments, please post that now. You have a question about my storyline, about my characters, anything of that nature. You have a question even about the books. There's the Ed Sacred Para character origin journal. There's also the Ed Sacred Para Presents storyline content and character development journal. There's also a planner from Ed Sacred Para, so you can always check those out. It is on Amazon. And then there's also, of course, other books that I've created as well. Some of those are plays, because I am a playwright, and some of those are books that have like a compilation, as far as it having like, you know, short stories and a storyline that may be more of like a play. There's also some that are just short stories. So I know it just really does depend. And then there's also a book that I published that's my dad's work. He was a minister, so I published his sermons, some of his sermons after he had passed away. It was just sermons that I was able to actually, you know, get my hands on, or that was sent to me from his brother. And so I was able to publish some of those and put those into a book as well. So that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be pretty much a wrap for today's live show. I thank you guys for being with me today. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, now would be the time to post them. Following this live, I'll probably do a quick little photo shoot, because as you may know, Margaret Ann Dolls, I want to say, I can't really think of her full handle. I think it's at Margaret Ann Dolls. Is that right? She has a birthday party. So I'm like, okay, time for my girls to get dressed. So I'm going to be going to the birthday party, you know. This is like the perfect, let me tell you, events here on the Instagram are perfect for us us introverts, right? Because we feel like we're like getting involved in events without actually have to physically get dressed and go and be in social environments. We're like, yeah, my dolls are partying. So, if you happen to follow at Margaret Ann Dolls, I kind of put a question mark right there, because I can't really remember if that's her full handle, but I do know that it's at Margaret Ann. She is having a birthday party. It's green and gold for the theme. And my girls, they were going through all the clothes trying to find this one green velvet dress that actually my mother had made. And I was like, oh, nope, 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 that's not it, that's not it. And I was like, shoot, it's too late, don't worry about it. And they were still like trying to find the dress. They finally found the dress. So I was like, cool. So yeah, they're going to be joining in with that event. Her birthday was yesterday. So the birthday event was yesterday, but I do believe, and I could be wrong because I'm not holding the event, but I do believe that you can still post during the weekend. And that's at Margaret Ann. So if anybody has her exact handle, you can definitely put it on here. But at Margaret Ann. And I don't know of the other events. There's actually someone who has a page, and I don't know her handle. It's like, why am I even bringing it up? I don't know her handle. Nonetheless, she has a page, and it almost looks like a newsletter when she does her posts. But she'll put on there all the events for the week and like the ongoing hashtags. Really, really cool that she does that. Huge props to her for doing it, because it is a lot of work doing that. So I give her a lot of props. I don't know her page handle. If you know her page handle, put it on here. But she does put like everyone's hashtags on there as far as them having events during the week. But there's a lot going on this weekend in the Dollyverse, because I've seen some of the people's posts. I'm trying to think if somebody else had a birthday where I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get that going. I can't really think. I do know that my girls are going to be doing a photo shoot later on today as well. Probably like soon after I do the photo shoot for Margaret Ann, they're going to change their clothes again and get ready for a photo shoot for Coach Play. Because there's been a lot of different exercises that I've been learning as far as me being postpartum and having a C-section. So there's different exercises that Coach Play, hashtag my husband, has been teaching me to kind of like help keep me going energy wise and fitness wise, and just being able to keep myself toned, right? And I don't mean just like toned physically, but like toned mentally, right? But nonetheless, I'm going to be doing a photo shoot with them later on that has to deal with exercises and some of the poses that I can do being postpartum and with the C-section. As many of you have known, I'm just being transparent right now. This is my first C-section ever. Did I have issues with it? Yes, thank God I didn't have to go back to the emergency room or the hospital, because I even had like a spot that was open on my incision. And so there was a period of time that we actually, and I say we because my husband was the one putting it on, putting the Neosporin on to get the incision wound to close. And that was a really scary time for me. And although I still actually coming on here doing the IG live show, I was totally freaked. I was like, oh my God, what if I have to go to ER? Because I really didn't want, my insides, coming out. And I know that's real graphic. I'm sorry. Trigger warning. We'll put that on there for anyone. But I was just really nervous. It was just a really scary time for me. And that's why I was so blessed when at Cutie Erica, I'm going to put you out there, wrote me out of nowhere. And it's just like, how are you doing? I really do sense that you're, going through more than what you're putting out there. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And it just blessed my heart so much. It still like almost makes me cry because I hadn't told anyone what I was going through. So she wrote me to ask me how I was doing. And asked me how I was healing with the incision, and it was just like, you getting a C-section is a really big deal. And you need to make sure that you get the proper rest and attention that you need. Her reaching out to me just really, really touched my heart. So she has such a special place in my heart because of that. We were already in contact with each other, so she already had a special place in my heart as my sis. But for her to like vibe with me on something that I had not disclosed to anyone outside of my husband was really, it touched my heart. It touched my heart a whole lot, and she was like, I don't want to be out of place on it. And I know I'm throwing you, I'm like putting you out there. So if you see this, you're probably like, what? But I have to tell you thank you. And I told you thank you then, but it really just touched my heart that you vibed on that level. Like our frequency was on the same level where you heard that I needed someone to pray for me and, and just really know that I needed a voice to hear what I was going through, even when I wasn't talking about it. So after the postpartum, and I'm still technically in postpartum, you're like in postpartum for the first 2 years after a baby. So I'm technically still in postpartum, but there are certain exercises that I can do, and there's certain exercises that I can't do. And then that's even more limited are narrowed because of the postpartum. Because of the C-section. So I have to be even more conscientious of the kind of exercises that I do. So I say all that because there is an upcoming photo shoot going on with my girls over here where I will hopefully be able to demonstrate some of the exercises that Coach Play Experience, the Coach Play Experience has taught me. And that's my husband. Different things that he has taught me that I can do and can't do so that I can maintain my energy level, maintain my, just my nutrition and my fitness and mental, mental health, right? Right. So I'm excited about being able to do that with this upcoming photo shoot. Like I said, I'm going to try to do it today after I get done with the Margaret Ann birthday party photos. So without further ado, I thank you guys so much for being with me. I think it's like 1:39. Yay! This is probably one of the shorter lives that we've had. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate it. I'm seeing hearts just flowing. What? Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I am gonna have a giveaway real soon. Look out for that. I can't really think of anything else. I'm trying my best to like wreck my brain and think of anything else that I would want to talk to you guys about. I do know storyline wise, pay attention to Courtney's storyline because there is going to be something coming up with her story that I think that you guys should pay attention to. Yes. Yes. We talked last week. You have a great day too. That is Melco Jojo _16 go. I appreciate you. I always see your name on here, and I want to give you a shout out and tell you thank you for the support. I see your name on here very often. Actually, I see a lot of you guys on here. Thank you guys. But yeah, there is going to be a wonderful twist with her storyline. That's why I put her on for next, and I want you guys to pay attention to that. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I would need to update you guys on other than that. And of course, Tony is back in the picture as well. And I'm really excited about that. I've been wanting to bring Tony back in. And I will say this much, as far as an encouragement to anyone who's listening right now or later on, if you have in your mind an idea about, how you're going to do your storyline, how you're going to work with your characters, an idea that you have with your photography and you haven't done it yet, keep holding on to that. Don't let it go, because the photos that I recently posted with Tony and Oric, and Oric was his buddy. They were, of course, in the military together. And Oric is like the first character. Literally, my husband brought this to my attention. I was like, wow, first character ever in my writing history that I've killed off. It's huge to me because I view my characters as human. You can take it or leave it, but I do. And so for me, like, killing off a character is a real big deal. I've been sitting on a book, actually. Because I'm an indie author. As some of you know, I'm an indie author. So I've been sitting on a book for over 15 years. I'm laughing because it's like been over 15 years now. And I haven't done it simply because the character is a kid, and I don't see any other way of effectively writing this without killing off the kid. And I've had other conversations with creatives. In fact, my last conversation at Caitlin June, when she was here in town, we had spoke, and I was like, oh my goodness, in order to do this book, I gotta kill off the character. She's like, you should do it. Just get it done. I've had conversations with at Catherine CPI. She's like, just do it. Get it done, So for me, like, killing off a character is just very, very hard. It's very, very hard. Then you add into the mix that in this particular book, it would be a child. It's like, how do I do that? Like, how do I wrap my mind about that? I'm a mom. I wasn't even a mom at the time. I was like babysitting other people's kids. And I was a school teacher when I wrote this book. And I just like stopped writing it because I couldn't wrap my mind around the idea of killing off a character. So Oric, in this particular storyline, he happens to be my first character that I've ever killed off. And actually, like, showing pictures. Didn't even think about that, like I said, until my husband and I were sitting up there talking, and he was like, yeah, you actually did kill off a character now. And I was like, what? And was like a huge achievement for me because I don't do that. But it is important, like just to throw out a name. We're a Marvel family. I've told you guys. Some of you guys may be DC. I pray for you. All right? Yeah, DC. We're about Marvel in this house. So we love Marvel. We're all about Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like almost anything that Stan Lee touched, we're like, yeah, we love Stan Lee. All right? So we're talking. And it's like certain things in that particular Marvel universe wouldn't have such an impact if it weren't for the fact of being that certain characters had to be killed off. Example, Uncle Ben. And I think that's one of the reasons I was talking to my husband about the storyline, because I really do. I honestly, genuinely love storylines. So, like, even when I was talking to Barbs for us today, I connected with her because her photography is awesome. Her nature photos, beautiful. Her vintage dolls, oh my God, like I said, it gives me such nostalgia. It does literally make me go to eBay, and I no joke, go to eBay and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can find that doll, right? Beautiful dolls, beautiful dolls. But then what she does with Raven is just like transcending. It's great. You know, it's such a short post, 1 or 2 posts. It's like, wow, you made it effective in a short amount of posts. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of storyline. Storyline is important to me. It is. I love it. You know, I'm here for it. And I'm going to wrap this up, but I do want to say this much. When it comes to Spider-Man, all right, I literally read something recently on someone else's page. She has a page and she talks about, and it's really, really funny. She's like, what did she say, Darren? She's like, I was just born when I noticed this. And she's talking about like movies, like Disney movies, that she didn't notice that there was like a hidden Easter egg in it. So recently she showed one with Tangled and she was like, I was today old when I noticed this. And they have like Pinocchio and the Raptor. What? I didn't notice it either. Long story short, she had on there on her page a conversation about which Spider-Man movie was better. Like which leading actor did it best. And this is a relevant conversation because we're talking about storyline, and right now we're talking about character. So which actor did the storyline, the props and justice that it needed? Now, of course, for me, and you don't have to agree, but I'm like Andrew Garfield fan and Miles. Oh goodness, my son, he's not on here. He knows his name. Miles, I'm going to say Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe is a minister and a motivational speaker. Morales. There you go. Morales. Eminem. I love some M&Ms. So anyways, I'm digressing. So you have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, you have the new guy, Tom Holland, and then of course you have Miles. Oh my gosh, I just said his name. Morales. Thank you. I'm like, I just said his name. Thank you, Cosplay. That's my husband. So there goes the thing. She had this conversation. She has like the storyline thread, and they're like, you know, debating. I'm like reading it out to my husband. And I was like, you know, I am totally an Andrew Garfield fan because he was the second Spider-Man, and a Miles Morales fan, correct? Because I feel like they did that character justice. That's me. Now, Tom Holland, he did straight. He was all right. What would you say, girls? Let me get my girls in on that. You know, what do you feel about it? They're like, yeah. He did good. Now, the issue I have with him is that the whole Uncle Ben feature is gone. Hey, how are you, love? That's one Barbie girl, 1_Barbie girl. And if you guys want to chime in on this conversation, you can, because it's really dear to my heart when it has to do with storyline. I feel like Andrew Garfield, when it comes to the actual comic book storyline, he had the best. He was emotionally involved and attached to that story as far as being Spider-Man. Like when he would tear up, High Unicorn Moon 2020, his eyes would get like really watery, and it was like you couldn't help but feel like involved with the intensity of the story and the climax of it, and then like, you know, the story arc, and when it would fall down, like you're right there with it. Right? Tobey Maguire, I thought that I felt that way until I met Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Like Tobey Maguire, I was like, oh, you know, I was like ambivalent. You know, he's cool. We didn't have anything else in that modern time. Then came Andrew Garfield, and I was like, Tobey, you're out the door, right? Then came Tom Holland, and I know some people are like carrying on this debate that like Tom Holland was like the proper age and stuff, but I have such issue because one, there's no Uncle Ben. How in the world can you do justice to a storyline about Spider-Man and not have Uncle Ben? Oh man, it's like the whole reason why he became Spider-Man. What the hey? Really? No Uncle Ben? Makes no sense to me. Then you make Aunt May like my year's age. Come on now. I understand. Technically, you know, she's older than me. Okay. But she's still not like Aunt May's age. Aunt May in the comic book was way older. So I had an issue with that because you made her like a fly girl, but she's supposed to be like granny age. You feel me? I was not happy about that. I'm still not happy about that. And then, so he took away Uncle Ben. There's no Uncle Ben in the Tom Holland universe. Aunt May is young. Then you have Tom Holland. And I think storyline wise, I was already like not involved. And that was what my husband and I talked about recently, where he was like, it's not that you don't like Tom Holland, it's just that he was like a victim of the storyline being changed. And it's true. I am that much of a stickler about storyline and plot and story arcs and climaxes and, you know, things just being in the original context, to where when they removed him from the original storyline, it just made me less involved. And it's nothing against Tom Holland, but yeah, I was less involved. Now, the Miles Morales character, I liked him because I felt like that was like the next level. Like, we needed to see some diversity in the storyline. You know what I mean? And my kids loved him. And he was really entertaining, and he had like, you know, the whole teenage vibe going on, where, you know, like when kids are teenagers and we're entering into that stage of teenagerhood with three of our kids. We have like some preteens and we got a teenager going on. But I've been around other teenagers, and I think they just talk about like the most off the wall stuff. But it's just like, it works for them where they're at, and it's so funny. And they have like very unique perspectives. Like, I love just listening to teenagers conversate. I remember when our niece and nephews used to come over and they were in their teenager state or stage, and I would listen to them. And it was just crazy, the things that they would say, the slang that they had. It was like, wow, like this is what you guys talk about now? It's hilarious. So I think for me as a parent, I kind of like attached myself to Miles Morales because my kids like him. He's a diverse character, and he was just like a refreshing character. So that's why I like him. Why does this resonate with storyline? Because you want to be authentic with your storyline without losing your audience. Makes a lot of sense. Being authentic with your storyline without losing your audience. So it doesn't mean that you want to come from like a people-pleasing perspective. But if you take away the meat of what your storyline is supposed to be about, if you kind of like make it real soft, I think that when we look at the Tom Holland storyline, it's like this softer perspective of the real storyline of Spider-Man, right? Because the real storyline of Spider-Man is very gritty. You know, he doesn't have his mom. He doesn't have his dad. He lives with his aunt and his uncle, who are older, right? They're not going to be able to align with the perspectives of who he is as a young man. They're not going to understand that at all. Hold on real quick. Yeah, let me get it. So, like I said, they're not going to be able to understand who he is at all. But yet we see him, and he's this young guy who all of a sudden gets bitten by a spider, and, you know, his genetic coding and everything else changes. Now we kind of like fast forward into the movie. You know, we see Tom Holland, and he doesn't have this stuff going on. And I think it's because, like, we as a society and as a culture have come to a place where seeing someone die and seeing, you know, Uncle Ben die in such a way is just like too much to handle, right? So we kind of shy away from it, and then they eliminate it from the storyline. But then the depth of the character is gone. Because we see Tom Holland as someone who's looking for vengeance. I mean, not Tom Holland's, but Spider-Man looking for vengeance against the person who killed his uncle, right? But once that's eliminated, it's like, well, what's his motive for being Spider-Man? It couldn't just be that he wants to save the world. Come on now. What's his personal interest? So whenever you take that away, you take away the personal interest that your character has in being able to avenge and make things, better, right? So I bring that up even with me having an issue with killing off my characters in the past, because it takes away that depth that's needed to be able to create an authentic character. So these are just some nuggets. Like I said, I was planning on getting off of here earlier, but I didn't, simply because I don't care. It's cool. But I didn't, just because, I believe this nugget needs to be given to somebody who's doing a storyline right now. And you may be kind of fighting with yourself on, do I kill off a character? How do I do it, right? It's a very difficult thing to do. It's easy probably to kill off a villain, but it's way harder to kill off a character that's young, that's a good character, hasn't really done anything to anybody who, you know what I mean? Like that's a hard thing to do. But it's worth doing, because you can either have the more like grittier version of Spider-Man, like what's in our comic books by Marvel, and what I really do believe both actors, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, brought to the forefront as Spider-Man. Like their characters are more gritty. They had to deal with the loss of the uncle, and they had to kind of like travel through them. Of course, when we look at Andrew Garfield, he further had to deal with the loss of his girlfriend. On top of that, her own dad. So like her dad. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it before. It's a spoiler alert. It's like his uncle died, her dad died, and she died. It was like, oh my God, like he's going through it. He's going through it. And his aunt is like older and stuff, and he's like gotta make sure she stays alive. It's like, oh my God. He went through it. I think that's why like I really do resonate with that character more. So those are like your gritty characters, but then, or your gritty storyline. Then you have like this soft storyline, which is Tom Holland. Like he hasn't lost anybody. And I know he's being raised by his aunt, but really, they don't even give a good reason why he's being raised by his aunt. Come on, Marvel! Really? Like, give us like a reason why he's being raised by his aunt. I'm disappointed. I am so disappointed in that storyline. Make your storylines authentic. Even if you have to put out something that's gritty, put a daggone trigger warning. If somebody feels uncomfortable, they'll scroll past it. I've seen @doll_stories do it. I've seen @toy_stories do it. I have seen Catherine @Catherine_CPI do it. Check out these hashtags that I'm telling you, or I mean, no, not hashtags, but these accounts that I'm telling you about: Toy Stories, Doll Stories, and Catherine CPI, because they are really, really good at saying trigger warning. If this is too much for you, scroll past it. If someone has a problem with it, they can scroll past it. Get your story out. Be authentic. My issue, like I said, with the Tom Holland storyline, is not authentic. When I actually did kill off this character, the Auric character, it happened in flow. It literally happened in flow. Like, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until the conversation with my husband and he brought up, this is like your first character you really did kill off, to where I was like, wow. But I feel like it gives like a more authentic storyline. It also brings into question, like, who is Tony? Really? Like, we thought we knew Tony, but is there anything else about Tony that we didn't know? Last week we talked about doing shadow work, and this almost actually works for shadow work as well, because each character has a shadow, right? And when you don't deal with your shadow self can actually work and behave in you in ways that you don't even realize is happening. So is this almost like and actually shadow work is kind of like dual, in that I listened to someone because my sis at Catherine_June had sent me some actual prompts that has to do with shadow work, as she has promised, and she brought me a video that had to do with shadow work, and I listened to that. And the young lady who was talking, and she was like, everyone has a shadow self, and everyone does have a shadow self. You've lived, you experienced life, you're going to have a shadow self. And unless you begin to like question yourself and just analyze yourself and observe yourself and do self-examination, you're not going to be able to get to the root of who you are, to be able to flourish, to become who you are meant to be. Real talk. So I'm saying all this because once when you do some work and some, as I spoke with at my little curvy world, some personal development skills, when you utilize those skills and you are able to kind of like categorize who you are and organize who you are persona wise, you can be able to delve into even greater depths of storyline with your characters, with your dogs. So don't neglect that. Don't neglect that. You will get authentic stories off of you being able to connect with who you are. All right. So we're actually entering to 2 o'clock. We've been on here for 1 hour. It's been, or 2 hours, 1 hour and 3 minutes, something of that nature. I've had a really good time talking to you guys. I just want to encourage you to produce authentic stories. One of the reasons why I've resonated so much with Barbs for us is because she has an authentic page. And really, quite honestly, everyone who I've spoken to on here on IG Live and who I connect with and I follow, they have such authentic pages, just authentic creatives, you know? So make sure that your storyline is creative. Make sure that it's something that's authentic to you. Don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the follow. You get your story out there. You produce it the way that is meant to be, right? It wasn't easy for me to kill off Oric, but it was in flow. It was in flow. And who would ever think it would be so close to Veterans Day, which really did kind of hit home for me, where I was like, oh my God, like I didn't realize that the story came out during that same time. But it was still something that needed to come out during that time. Where is it going to go? I'm still actually traveling with Crystal throughout it. I have a pretty good idea, but I'm still learning that storyline as I produce it, if that makes sense, right? So make sure it's authentic to you. Make sure that you get it out no matter how gritty it is. Just put trigger warning signs on there and that caption so that people will know and they can make a choice on their own if that's something that they want to read and, you know, look at the pictures of, because you've already put it out there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say alongside of that. But yeah, make sure it's authentic. Make sure it's yours. Make sure it's something that's creative to you. Make sure that, you know, if it's gritty, put trigger warnings on it, but still get the story out. Soft stories don't actually win fans, right? And soft stories don't help you. It needs to be something that's therapeutic for you, right? And then just going back to Barbs for Us, because that's who I spoke to today. She has a very authentic page. Check her out. We are going to conversate again. Keep her in your thoughts. Give her positive energy for healing right now, as she and her daughter aren't really feeling all that great. So we just want to make sure that they feel well soon, because nobody likes being under the weather. But her page is beautiful. It is awesome. Like I said, I connected with her because of the photography that she does. She has vintage dolls, which are beautiful, and I love what she does with Raven. And she does something so out of the box with the wedding transportation photo. So go back to her page if you haven't seen it. The at wedding transportation was part of the at Vintage Claire wedding challenge that was going on, and just like a really awesome challenge. And I do want to put at Vintage Claire on here because she also has a Thursday challenge every Thursday that you can get involved in. So make sure to check that out. But the wedding challenge during that time was wedding transportation, and she literally, at Barbs for Us, took that challenge, made it her own. It was authentic. It was awesome. It was creative, and really did show that whenever you make things your own, working with what you have, you can do something phenomenal. So even if you're like, I don't have a couch, like at Sacred Pair. I don't have a card like this particular account does. I don't have a diorama like this one does. You can still make it work. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. Do what that is in your heart to do. Make what you have work. Use those hands. If you can sew it. If you can't sew it, glue it. You can do it. So I just want to encourage you to not let yourself kind of get into the slump where you feel like I don't have what other people have, so I can't do it. Use what you have. Make it work for you. There's a lot of different people who I see out here, and they may have remnants, and they may have all these little tiny figurines and miniatures, and I'm like, oh, I don't have those foods. Oh, wow, that's so creative. Wow. That's what they have, and it's their thing, right? You use what you have. DIYs are fun to do for couches. Yes, they are. They truly, truly are. So if you're able to, really put your hand on the plow, on the grind, and make it work for you, I say do it. Make it yourself. You'd be shocked how many of us see your page and we go, wow, how'd you do that? And to you, it's like, oh, I just used what I had around. I would have bought something if I could have gotten it, but instead I just made it. But to us, we're like, oh my God, how'd you do that? I want a tutorial. I want to do it too. Use what's around you, your resources. That's why I'm always like so big when I come on here and talk about my little curvy world and what she has going on every Friday, right? Every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to catch my little curvy world. She uses what's around her. She uses, literally, I thought I had some cardboard around me, but I don't. But she uses cardboard, y'all. Just like cardboard. Just regular cardboard from a box, right? And she makes that work. And she's able to construct and build these houses and make furniture. All this different stuff from cardboard. And you go, wow, like how did you create that? You made drawers that open and close from cardboard. Yes, thank you, Fairy of Wind 2001. She said Friday. And it's called Fridays. And she has it every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's talking about how to be able to make dioramas out of cardboard. You can do that. And that's really what this page is all about. Encouraging you to know you can do this. The root of this page, I'm about to sign out. The root of this page is built off of a phrase that Bob Ross said. Bob Ross, one of my favorite artists, always said, anyone can paint. I watched him as a kid, PBS. I was so excited when he would come on, and I would come in from school, and that was literally like the highlight of my day, being able to sit down and watch him. Yes, she is awesome, Barb's World. Barb's World, check it out. We had a conversation about three IG lives ago. Check it out on the Instagram timeline. On my Instagram timeline, you'll be able to see Barb's World. So many nuggets for you to be able to glean from of wisdom and encouragement as far as you being able to work your page. She's another example, just authentic, creative. So definitely check out Barb's World. Check out her page. You will be inspired. But going back to Bob Ross, he always said that anyone can paint. If you'll notice at the end of the IG live shows that I have in the caption, I always say anyone can write. I minimally take credit for that because I was inspired by him who said that anyone can paint. And I say, hi, Daily Adventures of Ash Harvard. Anyone can write. Anyone can write. If it's in you to write, write. That's why I always ask people, what is your background in writing? I don't ask that in order to find out and be nosy and intrusive as far as like, where are you at with writing? Is it where I'm at? No, it's nothing like that. I ask, what is your background in writing? So that we can understand that everyone has a different background in writing. Some people have never written at all. It was never even in the forefront of their mind to become a writer. Some people, they have written from like 2 years old to now. Like that is where they're at. They love writing. They've always written. Some people are like, I've never really written, but I've always loved reading. Some people are like, I wanted to write. And some people say, I met this doll. And all of a sudden I wondered, where'd she come from? Where does she live? Who's her family? What all happened in her life? What kind of job does she work? Who is she? So there's some people that until they got that doll in their hand and it happened to be the right kind of doll, then all of a sudden these questions came to them and they wanted to answer those questions. And then boom, they created a story. So the whole point of this is to encourage you to continue to encourage me that anyone can write. You don't have to have a degree on a wall or even a certificate. If it's in you to write, do it. Don't hesitate. I talked to Jen Yang, and we spoke, and he said how he uses his page really as a journal, as an online journal. You know, hey sis, she said, I love thinking about that with my dolls too. Exactly. They definitely have a story to tell. Lord. Exactly. They do. They have a story to tell. And if you feel like, well, I haven't felt that with my doll, maybe you just haven't had the right doll in your hand. And that's okay. Because Mattel constantly produces new dolls. And as we spoke with at Desiree Dolls, there's other companies that have dolls too. At Desiree Dolls has her own company line. So maybe possibly you haven't been able to produce a story because you just haven't really, put your hands on that doll that vibrates with you where you're like, wow, there's a story in you. And that's okay. Just wait until you actually meet that doll that is going to give you the story that you're looking for to release. And right before I wrap this up, I've said it about 3 or 4 times, but right before I wrap this up, I got a message from someone today. And it meant so much to me. I'm not going to put her name out there because I don't see her on here. If I saw her on here, maybe I would say it, but I don't want to, just blast someone's name. But she DM'd me and she was like, I am going to revitalize my story. I'm going to create a new account. And I'm going to put some of my dolls into a particular trunk. And these are going to be the dolls that I use for this new storyline. And this new storyline is going to reflect the childhood that I grew up in. And it's going to be a reflection of the people in my family and just the functionalities, dysfunctional and functional, that happen in my life. That right there touched me on so many levels because it was like, wow, what we're doing each week is effective. What we're doing, because we're doing this together, right? And we're talking about storylines, not so much from a perspective of just, it's playtime, we're going to talk about this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But really looking into the depths of the therapy that takes place whenever we touch our toys and we do their hair and we customize them and we create these intricate storylines based off of their life, which is based off of the experiences that we've had or that we've shared with other people, right? So when she wrote me, it really did touch my heart that she's wanting to purge and release what's in her so that she can feel more whole and be able to touch other people's lives with her story. So that was a blessing to be able to read, and it touched my heart. It made me happy. And it let me know that what we're doing every week is effective. It's effective. The storyline that you're putting out, it's effective. It's changing lives. It's making a difference. It's releasing people, and it's healing people. Don't stop writing, because anyone can write. So I just want to leave you with that, knowing that what you're doing is effective. Yes, and it is playing with a purpose, my little curvy world. And yes, sis at Barb's world. Yes, it's making a difference. Yes, it's playing with the purpose. And I'm just going to leave you with this. When I was a young girl, it's like, is that going to be long or short? Because they're really, really starting off when I was a long girl. When I was a young girl, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. That's where I was born at. And My parents divorced when I was very young. I don't think I was tipping one. In fact, probably my birthday present was divorce papers. I was very young when they got divorced. I still remember being in a courtroom. Like, it's crazy. At one, I remember coming from the courtroom and my mom running to the bus. I don't even know the name. Hey, the D, there you go. I don't even know the name of the transportation at the time. But my dad was running behind us and saying, let me hold her. Let me hold her. And mom was like, no, I'll be late for the bus. So we ran to the bus. I remember we got in the bus. And, my dad didn't get a chance to hold her. So, things like that. It's interesting how the mind works. Because I was like 1. So I bring it up because, even like my mom's second husband, he was an abusive person. I brought that up before during the live. He was abusive to my mother. And I have memories of that. I have memories of her being dragged by him. I have memories of him locking me up in the closet. Would you know that if I hadn't been this vulnerable and transparent to say? Probably not. Because, we're able to put up a real good front and act like life is real great. But you go through things and you work through those things. How does that work for storyline? Because you want to be able to get those things out there. And I think sometimes we shudder from putting out dark storylines because we don't want anyone else to be triggered, and we don't want to put our business out there. For anyone who's from up north, I can't really speak so much for, where I'm living right now because I am more in the South. But from up north, it's more like, our business is our business. You don't air it. You feel me? You don't put that out there. You keep that to yourself. So that's kind of like what I had grew up with. You keep that to yourself. You don't put that out there. And meanwhile, you're emotionally tormented. We are here for each other. Exactly. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. No, because someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to know that despite what you've gone through, writing storylines can heal you. And you don't have to do like blow by blow, like this is what happened and this is what happened. But being able to journal it, even if you don't get an sacred pair book, get yourself a journal. I don't care if it's just a regular, 5-star journal, notebook. Write it down. Write it down. Because once when you purge yourself of it, it is written on paper and you can see it in writing, it can make a difference for your life. And then you kind of like go from there and say, what do I need to put in this storyline for my character? You know what I mean? Don't neglect what you've gone through. What you've gone through holds weight. It holds weight for you to release you from whatever you're feeling. And it holds weight for the person who's reading it. Because it's somebody right now who's reading what you wrote and they're going, wow, that relates to me. And you just helped me. You just freed me. Even if it's just them saying, I'm not alone. There's some people who feel alone. And there's some people who have who have been neglected by family members who don't really relate to them or understand them. And they feel by themselves. So whenever you can write a storyline that makes them say, this is me, they know they're not alone. That's what your storylines have done for me. It's made me go, wow, I'm not alone on that. Thank you. So don't stop writing. Don't stop writing. Don't sit there and say, well, I don't have an MFA. I can't write. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. My little curvy world says some of us going through things like that right now. Barbs world said it speaks to the substance of your character. It takes a real individual to be vulnerable to anyone. Thank you. Love you, sis. Very important testimony. Love you too, sis. You and I we got that connection. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I genuinely do. And my little cover world said yes. So I just want to encourage you, right? Because we do have a lot of happy storylines on our Instagram, and we need those. I've had previous IG live shows, and I've said to you, we need those. We need those. We need those happy storylines. Don't stop your storylines. In the same hand, if you have a storyline that's a little bit more grittier, right? And that storyline, like I said, with the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man version, where you got the uncle that passed away, and in Andrew Garfield, you got the girlfriend, dad who passed away, and she passes away, right? That's some gritty stuff, and not everybody can handle that. And then we go to like the softer stuff with the Tobey Maguire, or the what's his name, Tom Holland, right? In his universe, like, you don't really see that. You don't get a background about his mom and dad. You don't find out nothing. There's no Uncle Ben at all, which you know I don't like. There is no Uncle Ben at all in the whole daggone storyline. It makes me mad, but nonetheless, it makes me mad because it's not original to what Stan Lee had, and the other one who helped co-author. I can't think of his name, but there was another co-author to the Marvel universe. Nonetheless, it upsets me because it's not true to the storyline, and I'm all about storyline. Nonetheless, real talk. If you have a softer storyline, don't sit up here and feel like I should feel bad about it. Keep your softer storyline. Keep your keep what you have, because we need it. In the same hand, if you have a storyline that's more grittier, where people are dying off, where there's no drama and obstacles, keep that. Do it. Because it's about freeing you. Don't stop what you got. Maybe that happier storyline helps to free that person, the administrator who's writing it. And that's cool. But keep what you got. And even if you don't have a degree on the wall, so what? Keep what you got. Write it. You don't have to have a story. You don't have to have a degree or certificate on the wall to write what you write. That's why I have the different people on here who I speak to, because I always ask, what is your background in writing? And if you'll notice, if you've been staying with me, if you haven't, go back and listen to these IG live shows. Real talk, go back and listen, because you're going to hear people say, I don't have a background. I've never written before. And then you hear some people who are like, I've always loved storyline. I've been writing since I was young, etc., etc. It's to encourage you. You don't have to have a background. Anyone can write. Anyone can write. And if you've ever had people around you, I don't care if it was your parents, I don't care if it was your aunts and your uncles, I don't care if it was your cousins or best friends who were like, you can't write for don't listen to that. If you have a desire in your heart to write, do it. Practice makes perfect, right? Practice over and over again and over again and over again. I'm a published author. I'm an indie author, but there's things that I am learning on here that has been genuinely just teaching me as an author. You never get to a place where you're like, I'm done learning. Ever. So it's no way if you got a certificate on the wall or a diploma on the wall or a degree on the wall that you can say, hey, I'm the best author ever. I'm the best writer ever. I'm the best architect. I'm the best at whatever it is, dancing. I don't care. The certificate and degree don't really tell that. It doesn't really tell that. What tells that is the heart and passion that you got it. Okay? So I want to leave this as an encouragement to you, because there may be some people who are like, I've been doing fashion posts and it's been working for me. I'm going to kind of like get her in a fashion post. I don't really know if that's a good pose or not. Come on, Mini Cheetah. Yeah. And let's kind of like get her a fashion post too. So maybe you like, hey, I've been doing fashion posts this whole time. And Gloria went right in. I love Gloria. I don't know. That is my Mini Cheetah, but Gloria is she is. So anyways, you like, I've been doing fashion posts this whole time. I wanted to do storyline, but I'm uncomfortable. I don't really think I'd be good at it because I didn't really get the Pulitzer Prize when I was in elementary, middle school, and high school. So how am I going to be able to do it? You're going to be able to do it because you're going to start. Start today. Don't start tomorrow, because over the night, you'll end up talking yourself out of it. Start today. So a post that you may have right now that's just a fashion post initially, why don't you put on there, Darla wants to tell everybody hello with her sleek black dress on. And I know she don't have on a black dress, but her sleek black dress on, she just wants you to know that she's ready to get at it and go out and play and go out to the club tonight. Boom! You just got a storyline. Because in our minds, we see Darla getting ready in her black sleek dress to go out and play and go out to the club. You just did a storyline, and you didn't even know you did it, but you started. Start. Don't sit up here and tell yourself no. Get started. It could be in one post. That's why the conversation with Barbs for us, wrapping around before we get off, conversation with Barbs for us was so important today, and we will be talking again. But it was so important because she's able, in such a short post, 1 or 2 posts, to put her story out there, her short story, and it's amazing. It's amazing how she does it. So if you want an example about how to be able to put your story out there and do it in 1 or 2 posts, check out her page, Barbs for Us. And definitely check out her challenges. It's feeling a bit parched. I'm sorry there. I'm going to leave it on this note. She has 2 ongoing challenges. The hashtag frame the dolls. I just say whatever you want. Put a frame around the dolls. Just literally frame around the dolls. I don't know if that worked, but I'm just trying to show you an example. Frame around the dolls. Some type of border, creative border around the dolls. And then the other one is the black N. Like, does that look like an N to me? Like the letter N. Black and white doll Fridays. Every Friday they had that going on. That was with her in the at Dolly Guy 86. They do that on Fridays. At Dolly Guy GUI 86. So whenever you do those photos on Friday, make sure to tag both of them. It's just amazing stuff. So yeah, Gloria is ready for playtime. That's right. It's from Barb's World. And sure, won't stop. Healthy release. Otherwise, I think I will go back crazy. Exactly. I am not stopping, sis. I have to keep a balance. Some of us happy folks been through stuff to get where we are. Very true. So very true. Some of us who are happy, we have been through some stuff. We have been through some stuff. And it is being able to get through that has allowed us to smile. But you have to have something that is going to, as Barb's World said, self-therapy. Something that's going to give you a tool of self-therapy. And that's what this page is all about. Self-therapy. Right? Play therapy. Self-therapy. So I thank you guys once again for being with me. We are now in the hour of 2:27. And I just thank you for hanging with us, sis, and being able to enjoy what we're talking about when it comes to being able to have storyline content and creation. Continue to develop your characters. Continue to develop your script. You never know where it can bring you. You may be the next indie author, the next published author, the next movie maker. I'm just saying, you may have some plays out there, and so many angles and directions that doing what you do right now can take you. So I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you, IG family, for continuing to hang with us and support. You guys have an awesome and amazing Saturday. We're going to continue this conversation with Barbs for us again on another day. Right now, send that positive energy and prayers and healing for her and her daughter right now. But I appreciate her so much for even logging on today. So blessings all to you. Bye-bye.